All right, Bill, we are good to go.
Welcome everybody to the July meeting. Hope everybody's doing fine with this virus or hanging in there. And I wish you and your family the best of luck with it. If you can, don't mind, we'll approve the minutes.
I move we approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
You approved them in the previous meeting. Okay.
I'll second.
Okay.
Or first.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Okay. Treasurer's report. Melissa?
I'll do that since Dave on the phone.
You'll do what?
I said I'll do that since Paul's on the phone. Our
Oh,
check,
you want me to treasurer's report?
if you want to read it.
Sure. Balance is $726,750.03.
Is that 766.53?
So 726,750.03.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Do I have a motion to approve it?
We don't approve that.
Okay, good.
We just
We approve the expenditures, but not the
You can tell I'm really confused with this computer because I had it all set this afternoon and turned it on, it didn't work. Sorry about that. Tim, how about the
we still need to ask for the approval of the expenditures.
So moved.
Well, here a second.
I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion? If none, say aye.
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 Opposed? Opposed? Okay. That's approved. Okay, Tim, you're up.
Okay. Well, thanks, Bill. Thanks everybody for joining us this way. It's new for me. I know some of you have been doing the Zoom meeting, so do our best we can. So I'm just going to read off some stuff here. Obviously, as we all aware, this pandemic has presented several hurdles, especially when it comes to our municipalities holding their government meetings. As you know, fortunately, legislation was passed which modified the Open Meetings Act, giving local governments the ability to operate meetings through video conferencing and electronic means, provided that the public could watch the meetings live. Early on, ICRC decided to offer all of our communities assistance conducting virtual meetings through the Zoom platform. Production manager Jason Dudley quickly became our Zoom guru and has spent countless hours getting our staff trained and working with local government leaders and the administrators so they could use the Zoom and do all these meetings. And since the pandemic started back in March, we have facilitated more than 300 Zoom meetings and webinars. Been very busy. In addition to the regular council meetings, trustee meetings that we've covered, we've provided coverage to additional commission meetings and committee meetings. These are meetings that we normally wouldn't cover, but we were able to help communities get a lot of these meetings on Zoom so that the public could at least watch them live. So very busy, and our guys have been doing a lot of work, gals as well. So I appreciate that. Just recently, we've done some hosting of what I'm going to call an in-person Zoom meeting. That's where we come to the normal location like we always do with our equipment set up, but we also do a Zoom meeting as well. So people who do not come to the meeting or do not want to come to the meeting can still participate via Zoom. So it's kind of a mixture of the in-person council meeting with a Zoom call. So we've done a few of those, and probably we'll do more of those as we go through this pandemic. We've helped out the Hamilton County a lot with the Commissioner Denise Treehouse's weekly briefings that she's been doing. When they first started, they were, I believe, 3 days a week. Now they're down to 1 day a week. And what we do is we cable cast those updates on our channels live at 10 o'clock on Wednesday mornings. We play that footage later that night for people to see in case they couldn't see it live. Also for the county, we've been streaming their Board of Election meetings through our website. And just heard from them yesterday asking us if we would continue doing that through the end of the year. So we will do that. The other neat thing that we've done virtually, which is really cool, we've done a virtual program that we've produced here, or we've produced virtually through Zoom throughout the pandemic, and it's called the ICRC COVID-19 HR Update. The show started as an idea from Glendale resident Pandy Pridemore. Pandy runs a local HR consulting firm, and she appears regularly on Sharonville Chamber of Commerce's Business Talk. That's a show that we tape here in the ICRC. The show's content centers around Cincinnati area HR. Guests have regularly included lawyers, local businesses, Ohio Workers' Comp, the Better Business Bureau, and more. Early on, the show addressed topics like how furloughing employees could work, the ever-changing info and guidelines coming from the government, and the PPP loans. Currently, the focus is on small businesses and being a true resource for them. And the show has gained a lot of popularity since it started. The last episode, just this last week, attracted 4,000 viewers live and an additional 2,000 by the end of the day. So I just want to thank and congratulate Pandy for the success and the work that she's done, as well as Jason Dudley, who has helped get this show started and getting it online. I'll just talk briefly about the auditor's report. This year we did have a state audit for the years 2018, 2019. That was completed at the end of April. The audit was done off-site because of the pandemic. Everything went pretty well. They reported a couple minor issues, including a discrepancy in our bank balance, as well as a Hinkle system compliance issue. Both of these issues have been brought to the attention of our accountant, and they have been dealt with. The state also reported 2 Sunshine Law non-compliances. So currently, the ICRC does not have an official public records policy or an official records retention policy. As Melissa says, we basically have just kept everything and we file everything away, but we don't have any official policies. So we need to, moving forward, we need to get those policies established. So I've gone ahead and retained the services of the Manley Burke Law Firm, which I think some of you are probably familiar with. So with their guidance and assistance, I'm hoping to have these policies written and ready to present to the board at our October meeting, at the fall meeting. And also, as far as the audit goes, a copy of that audit was sent to the executive board. And then if any of you would like a copy of that, I would be happy to give it to you. Moving on to the franchise fee reports, we've collected both the fourth quarter for 2019 and the first quarter for 2020. Collected those fees. Oh, there's Linda. Let me let her in. Glad I looked over that way. Hello, Linda.
What happened?
Well, I am in the middle of my director's report.
I tried to get in from the beginning. I've been sitting here for quite a while, 16 plus, maybe before then. So, okay.
Sorry that you had the issues. I guess there's been some issues with Zoom today.
Yeah, normally I just click on it and I wait for you to let me in, but that didn't work that way today. So well, I took a different route. I actually put the number in.
Okay. I apologize for that. I looked over and saw that you asked to come in. So this is my first meeting, but I'm sorry for the issues, but I appreciate everybody's cooperation. So I'm just about to talk about the franchise fees, Linda. And so as I was saying, we've collected both the fourth quarter for 2019 and the first quarter for 2020. Overall, the franchise fees are down about 2.5%. For the year, I budgeted about a 4% decrease. So I'll be anxious to see, obviously, with the pandemic, how the numbers come out for the next 2 quarters. So also regarding the franchise fees, in the third quarter of last year, I noticed that Charter had imposed a fee adjustment to what they were charging the communities and how they were calculating what they owed, not what they were charging to the communities, but what they were paying the communities. So there was a fee adjustment there on their letters that went out to the communities, and probably no one noticed it, but we did. And after some investigating, I was able to find out that according to Charter, that fee is to cover an annual assessment by the state that's imposed on video service providers like Charter. And because it's a franchise fee under federal law, Charter's entitled to deduct a pro rata share of the assessment based on the number of subscribers from the franchise fees that they pay the local governments. And according to them, this is something they should have been collecting since the merger with Time Warner Cable back in 2016. And I apparently did a post-merger audit recently and discovered that they were not paying this assessment fee. So what their idea was to do to correct the error was to took that amount of assessments from the fourth quarter of 2016 through the third quarter of 2019 and deduct that from the payments for the third quarter of 2019. So essentially 12 quarters of these fees, they deducted them at one shot in one quarter. And that was on the 2019 third quarter bill. And for some of our bigger communities, that was a pretty significant amount. The last 2 quarters, it's been very minimal because it's just for 1 quarter. So if you compared the total amount through all of our communities, it was about $9,400 in these fees. And like I said, that was spread out through the 23 municipalities. So different communities got charged different amounts depending on the size of the community and the amount of subscribers. Compare that to just this past quarter, it was about $1,000 combined for all of those fees. So very, very small amount. But when they first did it in that third quarter, it was something that was kind of alarming. And I'm still trying to understand how they can do it. I believe it's just for the fact that they are already paying our communities that 5% franchise fee. So for them to pay another franchise fee to the state, they're allowed to deduct that from the community franchise fee. So,
Tim,
yes.
the question is, can they do it retroactively though? I could see how they could do it going ahead, but can they just do it retroactively?
According to them, they can. Honestly, that's the only information that I got from them, that they could do that. I know one of the other access centers, Waycross, brought that to their attention, but it kind of fell on deaf ears. So, aside from some legal course, I don't feel like we have much to stand on, but I'm certainly willing to explore that further. I admit it was kind of a new thing to me, and I was quite unsure of what it was. So it took a while for me to figure it out.
It seems to me you could argue that it's not retroactively liable for that. And then maybe it's negotiated. Maybe it should have been half of that or something like that.
Right.
My thought.
Right.
Ask them where it says they can do that. What, in the agreement or anything?
It's in the state franchise fee agreement, or the law of the state franchise fee, which obviously that's that new, or not new, it was done in 2007. But part of that is the state of Ohio charges any cable provider an assessment fee. to be a cable provider.
I don't know. I think I'd look that up.
So maybe what I'll do, and now that I've kind of am dealing with Manley and Burke on this issue, I can maybe get some advice on that.
Tim Burke's pretty good at those things. He's our law director.
Okay.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know where we can get with it now, but I will certainly investigate it.
Okay. Take a look at the agreement.
Yeah. As far as I know, Charter is the only company doing it. I don't know if Cincinnati Bell is or not. The thing about Cincinnati Bell is they don't send us the same form letter that Charter does. They just send us a letter that says how much they paid our communities in franchise fees. So if they're hiding something else in there, I'm unaware of it. But moving forward, the good thing, at least right now, is that fee is pretty minimal for for everybody. But yeah, I will do some more investigating. And other than that, I really just want to thank our staff here at ICRC during this crazy time for everybody, unprecedented time. Everybody here at ICRC has done a great job and being dedicated and really being supportive of each other. And so it's been I've been very thankful for that. So, and thank you to all of our communities. I was glad to see so many of them sort of take advantage and let us help them with all the Zoom stuff. And I know I've got a lot of good feedback from several community leaders, several of our municipality leaders thanking us for that. And so that's really makes me feel good. I know our staff is excited about that, to hear the positive feedback. So thanks everybody. And that's my report. If you have any other questions.
Just one comment. We went live instead of doing it later, repeating the council meetings. We went live our council meetings, and usually we have at the most 5 people show up at a council meeting. We running about 60 or 70 with the live feeds.
Yeah.
There seems to be a lot more interest in it. We haven't had any controversy or anything like that, but people are more willing, I think, to watch it on the night of the council meeting. We get more when we repeat it later, but when it's live, I think more people are interested.
Yeah. And I think moving forward, hopefully when this does kind of settle down, we may continue to do meetings live as long as communities want that. So we definitely want to be a resource for that.
Good.
Yeah. Okay, Bill, I think we're ready to move on. Now, let me unmute you. Hold on, Bill. I had to mute you because you were kind of loud. All right, Bill, go ahead.
Are we, what was I going to ask you? Oh, let's go to old business. Anybody got any old business? If none, we'll move along. New business? Nothing but the stuff that, I don't know who that was that was talking, brought up, and you're going to look into that, right?
Yes.
Well, if I get cut off, I just want you to know it's storming here right now.
It's looking pretty cloudy here. So.
Yeah. Well, anyhow, I wish everybody the best of luck with this virus that's going around. Let's hope we can get through it. I guess a lot of people are spending time at home, aren't they?
Yeah, for sure.
And I'd like to thank you, thank you for all the work you put into this. And I don't know what happened tonight with my computer, but it's not working. I hit the wrong button or something. So anyhow, I miss seeing with you guys. And our next meeting is October 22nd.
Correct.
Yeah, October the 22nd. Just remember that. We'll see whether they're going to be on the phone or whether they're going to be in person. So, everybody take care of their families.
Move to adjourn.
I hear that. Do I hear a second?
I'll second. But I do have a question for Tim and Melissa, a side question after the meeting.
Okay.
Sure.
So
Okay.
I need a vote. All in
Aye.
favor, signify by
Aye.
closing. Okay.
Aye.
Any no's? Nope.
Okay,
Okay.
we're done.
We're done.
We're
Thank
done.
you, everybody. Thanks.
All right,
Aye.
thanks. Tim, Melissa, quick question. So I belong to the Knights of Columbus Council at St. Michael's, and they were looking at ways to live stream the meetings, the Knights of Columbus meetings, and also record them at a later date. Any suggestions of the best way to do that?
So you're talking about a Zoom conference or a virtual meeting?
Yes, whatever would be the best option. It would be once a month.
Well, if it's a virtual meeting, that's, pretty simple for us. I shouldn't say simple, but, we're pretty good
Okay.
at trying to facilitate that kind of a thing, depending on the day and the time.
Okay.
We do a lot. Obviously, we're doing a lot of these virtual meetings.
Just a bit.
And, but, we've had a lot of cooperation from community, from, people moving their meetings maybe up an hour or to a different date. So
Okay.
accommodate that because,
Okay.
we can only do so many at once.
Right.
But
I think it's normally it's either the second or fourth Tuesday of the month, about 7:30 p.m. And so it sounds like you might be able to facilitate with that. And if not, do you have another recommendation, the best way?
if it's going to be a virtual meeting like this,
Yeah.
I'm fairly confident we could help you out.
Okay.
Sure.
So what would we need? Because myself and another gentleman are on there, and we're supposed to research the best way to do it. So what would we need to do on our end?
I would say send me an email
Okay.
with the kind of what you talked about here, what the
Okay.
meeting is called, when it is.
Okay.
Judy, I'm on.
Bill, you can bail out if you need to, Bill.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Hey,
All right.
send me a copy. Tell Melissa to send me a copy of the minutes.
Yeah, I will. I'll send it to you because we'll need to get it signed.
Okay, buddy.
Thanks.
Bye.
Yeah. So email me, Dave. and-
Okay.
With the info, and then
All right.
I'll get you
I
connected.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
So that would be kind of like what you did for us for council. They can stream it live. You would be able to stream it live, but then also record it to be reviewed at a later date.
Well, you got to remember, once it's streamed live, it's already archived for people to view it whenever they want.
Okay. Okay.
Right. So
Yep.
you would just need to let us know if you wanted to go to like your YouTube page or the organization's YouTube page
Okay.
or Facebook, whatever it is. But
Yeah.
if it's going to go to one of those two platforms and it will be archived immediately.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. I'm going to get a hold of Ken and make sure I'm got all the information straight. And then I'll send an email your way and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
Hey, I
right.
appreciate it.
Hey, no problem.
Everything went great at council Tuesday evening. I know
Yeah.
one resident was very thankful. They could watch it live. They raised their hand. They just thanked us. So
Yeah, I should have mentioned that Sharonville was one of the places where we're doing this hybrid Zoom live
Yeah.
in-person meeting. So it could be something that other councils like, North College Hill may end up wanting to do, a mixture. So, we got to get ready for that. The tricky part right now with that is we need to get some additional equipment, and a lot of that equipment you can't get. You can't get it. It's all back ordered. All these weird video converters and things like that. We need to do this.
Yeah.
You can't get. I mean, I remember when this pandemic started, you couldn't go get a pair of headphones. You couldn't get all this stuff. So
These are here.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Tim, if we wanted to go,
there's a family we know, a family of my daughters, their daughter's friends with my daughter, but they're looking to get in a pool 2022. 2022 for an in-ground pool.
you can't even buy those little kids' toy pools anywhere. Those
we
are nowhere
lucky,
to be found.
Yeah, we were lucky. We got our Intex from Target just like the last few before they're out. So it is amazing. And certainly, I don't think there'll be the need. I think you won't start seeing people take their foot off the pedal of hoarding or buying stuff really until there's like, we're really close to a vaccine being distributed.
Yeah.
I think then the fear and all that, we're making good progress, it looks like, on that front. So, but
I hope so.
Probably not till next year.
Considering we just hit 4 million cases, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Tim, if North College Hill wanted to go to that hybrid form, do we just like send you an email and say, can we look into this? Or do you have to get more equipment before we can even venture down that road?
Well, like I said,
how would we handle it?
You know, depending on, let's see, your meetings are Monday nights. So what I would need to look into is to see what we have here. You know, we are looking at getting all that equipment, but like I said, we just can't get it right now. We finally got the one piece that we used for the Sharonville meeting. That took a couple weeks to finally get in, but it's just a matter of letting me know, and then I'll get, you know, with Jason and Brian, because both of those guys will be involved since it's a combination. You know, Brian will come out and set all the equipment up. Basically what it is it's a Zoom meeting. Well, what happens is the equipment that's in council chambers. So let's say everybody from council is at the meeting, but you close it off to the public, or you're afraid that I don't know how many people that you're going to let in. It's a very small room, obviously. So you want to make it so you can be in council chambers, but you still want it to go live and be able to have audience participate and actually talk, right? So it's a webinar. So what happens is the cameras that are in that room basically become a member of the Zoom meeting. So it's just a matter of some extra equipment. So as soon as you know, and now that you said that, I kind of, you know, I'll start kind of planting that bug, and I'll start looking into what it would take. Because you guys meet basically every Monday, whether it's council or committee.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. So I'll have to look to see what we can do about making that happen. Yeah. But it can be done.
I mean, I'm just kind of investigating here. This was new to me when you said it, so I'll mention it to council, see if they even want to bite on it. I know there are a couple that are compromised, and they may not want to join at all.
Right.
So it probably wouldn't be a full house, but maybe if they wanted to do the hybrid like you spoke of, then.
So you would probably have some folks the council there, and you might have some zooming in, correct?
Exactly.
Yeah. And then public would be able to also take part. Have you guys done webinars where public can actually speak? Mary Jo, have you done that?
No,
okay.
We have not.
So a couple communities are doing that because they need to. They have to have, maybe it might be like a zoning meeting or a hearing, and they have to be able to, residents have to be able to say things. So that's where that comes in, is when we do a webinar, we can actually let in a resident who wants to speak and talk, you know, say whatever they want to say. So, so there's several options, and we've been pretty good. Like I said, Jason's become a guru at this stuff. A guru, that's pretty good, actually.
I want to give a huge shout out to Jason. He has been absolutely incredible with helping us through all of this.
Yeah. So
my hat is definitely off to him. Yeah. He's awesome.
Well, he's finally out, sort of. He's taking a vacation. He's out west right now.
Good.
Good.
Although he just sent me a text, so I don't know. It's probably work related, knowing him. All right.
Hey, Tim, one more question. Is there anything we need to do on our end? So if we do proceed for it, do we need to buy anything? Is there any cost? No, it's just.
Are we talking about this new the church thing?
Yes, the Knights of Columbus. Yes.
Okay. No, I mean, if it's going to be conducted like this, a Zoom meeting, then as long as everyone has computers or, you know, laptops.
Because some people show up, I've been zooming in, so you just need one person with a camera, right? And they just need Zoom on it. Technically, would that be it?
Well, I'm not sure what you mean, one person with one camera.
So imagine some people actually physically show up at the meeting, right? And then
Oh.
other people are watching remotely.
Okay, so you're talking about not just strictly all Zoom by Mary Jo.
Correct.
You're talking
See you, Mary.
about having this meeting. Okay.
So our meetings have been on Zoom, and I watch them live, right? And I participate. And they have one person with a laptop who uses his camera, and then he'll just pan around the room to look at people if they're going to speak or something like that. Would that be just essentially the same thing? It's Zoom via.
It sounds like it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So you just need one person with in the meeting room itself, physically with a camera and Zoom, and then you can facilitate the rest.
Yeah. Now that's something we've never done like that before. So
Okay. What would you recommend then?
Well, I mean, honestly, I would recommend just doing a total Zoom meeting. Is there a
Okay.
reason why they don't want to continue that?
I think they were looking at so you've got a 40-minute limit, and sometimes they go a little bit longer. And I think the requirement was, what could we do so they're doing the meeting live, but what could they do to also record it? And then at a later date.
Well, there's a good chance. So this is a church in Sharonville, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I would feel pretty comfortable with getting you guys, buying a license that would give you the ability to do meetings of they could go longer than 40 minutes.
Okay.
So you wouldn't be limited to that. And as far as, like I said, the recording goes, you can record, but
okay,
you kind of don't need to, because like I said, it's going to be automatically archived.
Okay.
Wherever whatever social media site you decide to use.
Okay. So is that just buying, I think Zoom has another, when you say license, their premium or something?
Yeah, well, we have an account, and what we do is we have a handful of people that we give them a certain type of license, and that gives them the ability to host a longer meeting.
Okay. And how much is that? Is that monthly, yearly?
It's a monthly charge. I don't know what it is, because we've been adding and taking away from it every week, it seems like.
Okay.
So I have no idea what it is, but I mean, it's certainly something that the organization can do on their own. If they have the funds and they want to create their own Zoom account and they want to pay that money to give them the ability to do it.
So would that be the easiest way then, is just to do that? And then, because even if it wasn't via Zoom, I thought, well, you could record it, and like you said, you could just upload it to YouTube, and then.
Yeah. How many people are on this commission?
If I go to the last meeting, there's a handful of people, less than 10 there, and then just a couple more Zoomed in. So it isn't like, we're not talking, more than 25. Yeah. It'd be under that. It's very minimal.
Right. But as far as the amount of people that are part of is it a board?
So the Knights of Columbus is a Catholic men's organization.
Right.
So what we'll do is look for ways to raise money for charities. We'll help out the church and all that. So be honest with you, I don't know how many members belong to the St. Michael Council. There's one I used to be a member at Glen Mario in Forest Park. But I can tell you what, the average age is, I don't know. I'd be lucky if it's under 70. I mean, good Lord. It's kind of like this, all those type of fraternal organizations, the numbers are dwindling. And you can even see it in Knights of Columbus, at least from my perspective, where they're just dying off, right? And you don't have the youth, the minor leagues coming up to continue to staff it and be members of it. And I think there's a myriad of reasons, right? There's so much choice out there now. If I go back to the heyday when I was a member in the 1980s, hundreds, I think at Glenmere, we're at 300-400 members, right? But those days are over. And I don't know that they're ever going to come back, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's a different culture. And I look at the way some of the stuff's in the meeting, and, I'm the type of guy who's like, look, I want an agenda. I want to get in. I want to get out, just like at work, right? Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And some of it turns into socializing to some degree, and, and that's okay. Right. But if I think of ways to try and get youth involved, I don't have an answer for that.
Mhm.
So, I think it's really a parent trying to get their kids involved. And even then, once again, there's so many activities going on nowadays that where's the time for it?
Yeah.
So you think we're better off just getting the Zoom and doing it on our own?
Well, I mean, I certainly think we can help get you started with that if there's,
Okay.
I mean, I don't know how you've obviously done these meetings now for a while.
Yes.
You're pretty familiar with how this works.
Yeah.
I don't know what the issue we had tonight with some of the folks not being able to get in right away.
Every
I don't
now and then
know.
we've had that on our committee meetings. Someone just can't, it's just, there's no logic or reason to it. There's
Yeah.
just a hiccup, lack
Yeah.
of better term. So we have Zoomed it, right? We've done the free version, and they wanted to go longer if need be, and they also want to record it. So
where is that? Where do you Zoom it to? Do you go live anywhere?
They meet underneath the church in one of the classrooms, essentially, and then one of the members has on his laptop, he'll Zoom it. There'll be a TV up there, and you can see anybody else who's in. And if you want to see who showed up physically in the room, he just pans his laptop around. So it's streamed live via Zoom.
So where would I find it if I wanted to look at it just to get a sense of what goes on? Do they have a YouTube page? Facebook?
No, as far as I know, they do not. It's just.
So if it's streaming live somewhere, it's either Facebook or YouTube, because that's really all Zoom can do live.
Oh, okay.
So maybe they're not going live. Maybe they're.
I dialed in the last meeting about 7:30, and it was live, just like we're doing right now.
Yeah, but you dialed in through Zoom?
Yes.
Okay, well then that's just a Zoom meeting. Do they have a Facebook page?
Oh God.
Probably not.
I guess I should know, but no, I don't know. St. Mike's does.
So if they don't have a YouTube page or a Facebook page, then they probably weren't going live with it to social media, right?
No.
It's a Zoom meeting, but
yeah,
unless it's being recorded or it's going live, then once it's done, it's done. It's not archived anywhere. So
yes.
But I don't think it's difficult to go live. You just need to have a platform. So a Facebook or YouTube page. So that's why a lot of our communities have just decided to have these Zoom meetings that we're doing go to our YouTube page, because it was just easy enough for that. They didn't have to create a YouTube page. And
so if we got one of the licenses and just do what we're doing via Zoom, and they would send out an email invite to all the members, right? We could just do what we're doing. And if you help facilitate it, you could bring it through your YouTube, and it would broadcast live, and it would also archive it, correct?
Yeah, if it goes to a YouTube page, it will be archived.
Okay, so let me float that with them. So one option is just do what we're doing now, is Zoom, right? And a lot of times I don't make the meetings because they're on the same night as our council meeting, right? It just happens that we've been, at least in the summer, I can attend. So, all right. So the option would be, you could supply with the license at some cost. People could still Zoom in, all right? Or we could broadcast it live through your YouTube site, then everybody can watch it.
Yeah.
And people would still be able to give feedback, right? They're just like we at our council meeting, they could raise their hand and then talk.
Then that would be a webinar.
Okay.
For sure. Yeah, that would be a webinar. So let me look into the cost of what it would be for us to do
Okay.
it, to add it on. It's kind of tricky because, the things that we're doing and we're supplying licenses for and helping out, they're all basically our government meetings.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
And that's why, yeah.
So
and-
it's kind of a tricky area when we start
And if
doing.
I agree, and that was my question. So I know they had looked at to whatever the premium version of Zoom is, and just doing it that way, right?
Mhm.
So I thought, well, I've got you. The timing's perfect. If that's something you'd want to do, if you feel uncomfortable or you feel like, because, well, it is a religious organization, number one, right?
Right.
And then it's every month, and then you guys are certainly booked up with everything else going on.
Yeah.
Is that kind of put you over the limit? Does that put you? I always do it this way, and it's kind of way I think about a council. Like, if you don't feel comfortable or you've got some doubt, then just don't say it or don't do it. It's like, for example, the rule I was given when I got on council: if you don't want to publish this on the front page of the Enquirer, don't write it. Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Don't text it. Right?
Yeah.
So that's it. If you feel uncomfortable or if you don't think there's a need, so if we were to buy the premium version, we're going to do it anyway, right?
Yeah.
So record it, and then you would just post it to a YouTube site.
Yeah. And honestly, I would really steer the organization towards getting their own platform, their own their own YouTube, or their
Okay.
own. I just think that's probably the best way to go about this
Okay.
thing. What we've done, there's some commissions, like I mentioned earlier, some of our communities, their commission meetings that we normally aren't there for, but
You're
they
right.
they needed us to cover them, to help them with the Zoom, because
Yeah.
they needed to make sure people could at least
Okay.
see them. So, but
So
again, that's a government thing. That's one of our governments asking us
Yeah.
to help out, and I'm going to do that.
Right.
So, so there's kind of an area there where it's a little, I'm not
Yeah.
quite sure about how to
How
approach
about
it.
this? And what I can do is I'll report back to them that I spoke to you, and probably the best path for us is to do the Zoom premium, right? We can
Mhm.
do it live, we can record it, and then I'll ask if St. Mike's has a Facebook page. I don't know how it's just like YouTube. Now I've got for my daughter, right? You can open it up to anybody or just have certain people view a video, right? She had to do some tryout video. So she would send it to her coach and she'd have access. They could do the same thing and just have the council members if they want to view it, right? It's free to set up a YouTube page and site.
Yeah. YouTube, you can make it so no one can comment.
Right.
They could just watch it.
Yeah.
And Facebook, I don't think you can do that.
Okay.
At least
And
I don't
YouTube
think so.
also, you can restrict who sees it, right? You could just have certain people that you send the link to.
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay. So maybe that's the best way to go. And that gets you out of it, because once again, it's a religious organization. You guys are pretty booked. If we need some help, I mean, and having done Zoom before, it's pretty self-explanatory,
Right.
So-
Well, I'm certainly willing to provide assistance or have our
Okay.
guys help out.
Okay.
And, and if they need just some kind of guidance getting off the ground with it, some advice on what's the best way to handle a webinar, what's the best
Okay.
way to handle, a certain situation.
Okay.
I certainly am comfortable, having Jason or someone else work with them.
Okay.
Just depends
What-
obviously on timing, but
Right. What I'll do then is I'll just suggest that if we feel we need some extra help, you're willing to give some assistance.
yes.
It sounds like the best path is to get the Zoom Premium, or unless they choose some other software. That way
Yeah.
we can do the webinar live, we can record it. And really the easiest thing would be just create a YouTube page and post it there.
Yeah.
And you're done.
Yeah. And it might be worth doing some research. I mean, I haven't looked in a while, but I would think there might be some other options out there other than Zoom.
I think Ken's looking into that.
Yeah,
I said,
worth
look,
it.
I'll look at from council what we've done. kind of done that. And then I knew I hit the meeting come up with you all. So with everyone here. So I thought that was perfect timing. So
Yeah. Okay. All
but
right.
like I said, the meetings and I don't know how you get of all these fraternal organizations that were used to be big. How do you get youth to get involved again?
Yeah.
I mean, when you sit there, it's the meeting minutes and here's the treasurer report and you're going on and on. And I think to myself, no kid in their right mind is going to want to sit through this,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, what would make it something that you could still get the youth involved and kind of bring them up the ranks? So I'm not there yet. I don't know what
Yeah.
would be, I've got a 10 and 15-year-old, and what would I need to do to keep their interest? I don't know, give them an iPad with Roblox. We'll have a Roblox night,
Yeah.
So it's a whole new world, and
Yeah.
we'll see.
I understand.
Well, I appreciate you staying on longer. I didn't want to tie
Sure.
up the meeting with this, and
Oh, no.
but it sounds like we're kind of going down the path. And then I'll just give them the extra caveat: if we need some technical help, we can reach out to you all.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Hey, thanks a lot. Hey, stay
Thanks.
safe.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, you too. And
we'll see what
hopefully, yeah, we'll see you in October.
no. All right. See ya.
Thanks.
Bye.
See ya.